Right, good evening, Darren.
Okay.
Little catch up after today's win over Cobham. 2-0. What are your thoughts on the game?
I think we felt it was going to be a difficult game today. Cobham have obviously come into the game on the back of, I think, 6 wins and a draw from memory, and obviously we've had quite a good run coming into ourselves. So I felt it was going to be quite a competitive game, and I think it probably was. Although it ended up just 2-0, I think we probably delivered quite a professional performance today overall. Despite the fact that we didn't play the best football, we weren't happy with everything. Overall, the boys have walked off with a clean sheet and a couple of goals, so it's hard to be too critical when it comes so soon after a Saturday.
Yeah, as you say, it was a professional performance. It never quite reached the highs of Saturday. Maybe the last 15 minutes we started to ping the ball around a little bit more. But it was a controlled performance. The back line were solid most of the time. Generally, we didn't try and force things. I know we did every now and again, but generally we were very patient, played the ball around quite nicely without really touching those heights.
Yeah, I agree. I think we weren't necessarily, we recognise that it's very difficult to play 2 games so close together from a Saturday to a Monday, especially when a lot of the boys play Sundays. We've never had a problem with that as a club. We've never dictated to players that they can't play Sundays, and as you know only too well, the club's roots are in Sunday football. So I think it would be somewhat hypocritical of ourselves at the moment to do that, and doesn't fit in with our agenda. So we recognise that. We felt that we maybe needed to make a few changes. We decided against it. We went with the same starting lineup as Saturday, but recognising that we might make a few changes earlier on. So hence the half-time change with Darren.
Okay. I mean, I know you say that because of our roots, we're never going to stop players playing on a Sunday, which is fine.
No,
and you wouldn't expect it.
Never say never.
But but does it come into your thinking a little bit more? Obviously, pitches are getting heavier. That does have an effect. I know out there it's not too bad.
Yeah,
but
of course.
On some of the Sunday pitches,
yeah,
they're going to.
Listen, it's a risk. Injuries, as you say, heavy pitches takes a lot out of the legs. Some of the guys, I think, played cup games yesterday that went into extra time. So we recognise that. But as I said, I think it's one of the things that you have to deal with at this level. And I think as competitive as Saturday football is for us, Sunday football we recognise is still quite a social thing for a lot of the guys. So yeah, never say never. But right now, I haven't an issue with it, and I think we have a squad that's capable of sustaining a few changes if we really needed to.
Okay. Going back on to today's game, obviously Phil is starting to find his goal scoring form again. Mm-hmm. Another good finish, decent play by Ollie on the left. Yeah. Nice whipped in ball, neat finish. Yeah. He'd already brought a decent save out of the keeper before that, so absolutely. That's a big plus.
Today I think I'm sure that a few people would agree. I thought it was the sharpest that Page has looked in a couple of games. So I think maybe having this little cluster of games for him so close to each other has probably been quite a godsend in terms of getting his sharpness up.
Okay. Defensively, again, we were fairly solid most of the time. I think the 2 centre backs, Nathan and Aaron, certainly seem to have got a good partnership going there. Mm-hmm. Considering it wasn't something that we would have looked at the start of the season, you've got to be pretty pleased with the way those 2 boys are playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them are very good players. Obviously, again, competition in the squad makes it difficult to kind of guarantee anyone places, but we decided today to go unchanged. I think it is the right thing to do. I think it's the 3rd time we've put out the same starting 11, and we're trying to create a mantra that it genuinely is a player's shirt to lose.
Okay.
And other players in the main, the rest of the squad have bought into that because the attitudes have been generally excellent from the players on the periphery.
Okay. I think it's probably safe to say, and I don't mean to be too controversial here, but that's not always something that's come into our thinking. A lot of the times in the past we have been more sort of horses for courses. So if we've got a team that's played well one game, there's no guarantee that they'll start the next game.
Yeah.
Is there any reason behind the thinking?
Well, yeah, we've come under a bit of criticism at times for tinkering. With good intention to try and keep players ticking over and having minutes and stuff. But I guess that the right thing to do, it feels for us the right thing to do at the moment to try and keep the core of a settled squad. So, forced changes, injuries, that you can't, you have to play the hand you're dealt with. But,
of course.
But generally speaking, I guess it's not broke.
Yeah, and in some respects, it's pretty much the Chertsey model from last year. They pretty much had a settled side. So, okay, but that's always interesting to get your thinking behind that. On the players' side, you've re-signed Matty Auletta. Obviously, a couple of years ago, Matty Auletta was without a doubt the best winger in the league.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're hoping he can rediscover that form.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind that?
We'd spoken to Matt at the start of the season, pre-season, and I think he felt that at the time that he would perhaps get more opportunities going away from the club, knowing that he was coming back from a lengthy injury.
Yeah.
And it obviously transpired that wasn't the case for him, so he'd reached out, and subsequently we felt that he's a player that's worth adding to the squad. He's, as you said, 2 years ago, he was probably the standout player in the league in that position. If he can replicate that, form going into the new year, then he's a hell of an addition. Yeah,
I mean, if he can replicate that, and you've still got Kyle and Ollie, geez, that's frightening.
Mm-hmm.
Tough night tonight from a playing point of view for the club, because obviously the under-23s had a fixture this evening as well.
Yes.
They were away at Croydon Athletic, picked up a nice 6-2 win, so that's always encouraging. They had a few youngsters on show. Obviously under-23s are youngsters, but they had a few youngsters making the step up from the under-18s. So they had Ollie from the Isthmian 18s, Max and Arthur from the Combined Counties under-18s.
That's outstanding. That's really good. I spoke to Tyler a little while ago, and he's been keen to get some of these boys into the squad. They're definitely good enough, and I think it will give them the experience in terms of a bit of physicality that perhaps because it's open age. We'll say open age is older ages, and you can play 4 overs, so there is an open age element. But it's a platform that we utilised to get minutes into first team players. Yeah,
definitely. And I think from a club point of view, the under-18s have to see it as a natural pathway, rather than it's the under-23s. We want to stick with our own age group.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think one or two of them need to go there and experience it and understand the subtle but definite differences.
Yes.
Because that's part of a progression that they need to step straight in from 18s to first team. At the moment, feels like just a little bit of a bridge too far, and we've tried it. We've tinkered with it. So I think we felt that it was good to go back, reinforce the fact that the 23s are there, and try and allow those players to use that little stepping stone to get themselves back in the first team contention.
Okay, and you only have to look at lads like Ben Senior who have stepped up from the under-23s.
Absolutely.
Never done anything wrong in the first team. It's made 10, 12 appearances for us.
Absolutely, some great lads in there.
Okay, well, thank you very much, mate. We move on to another difficult game next week, away at Egham.
Yeah,
who are again good form.
Every game difficult.
Yeah, to be fair, I looked at the fixtures and I don't think there's an easy one coming up until April.
Yeah,
April the 30th, probably.
Yeah, I would disagree with you.
So
onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Steve, any comments? Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.